Bawat issue ay hihimayin at malalimang aaralin.
Na iwan natin ang intelligence sa experts dun sa intelligence agencies ng gobyerno.
Walang kontrobersyang palalampasin, walang tanong na hindi sasagutin.
So needless to say, sir, kasali pa rin ang smart natin.
One-on-one, kasama ang mga politiko at mismong mamamayang Pilipino. Samahan niyo po ako tuwing linggo para alamin ang bawat katotohanan sa likod ng kontrobersya.
Magandang tanghali po. Sa araw na ito, ating makakasama sa ating programa ang isang abogado, dating senador, at pagkatapos po ng halos 7 taon ay muli pong nakalaya. Ako, sigurado po ako, hindi pa po siya nakakapahinga fully talaga at hindi pa nakakabawi nga ng kanyang pahinga dahil sa dami ng kanyang pinagdaanan. And I'm very sure nito pong mga nakalipas na araw, mga nakalipas po na linggo, sunod-sunod po yung naging kanyang media interviews na kanya namang masigasig na pinaunlakan at kasama na po tayo dito sa DZRH. Atin pong makakasama ngayong tanghali, walang iba, kundi si former Senator LEILA De Lima. Senator, magandang tanghali po. We thank you very much for giving us your time.
Magandang tanghali, Pamela, at magandang tanghali sa mga nanonood at nakikinig sa inyo. It's my pleasure na naimbitahan niyo ako sa programa mo.
Senator, it could have been different, you know, it could have been the first time for us meeting each other in person sana, no? Pero we understand that you have, yes, we understand that you have so many schedules. So before anything else, Senator, I'd like to ask, how have you been? It's been more than a week since you were freed at last. Kamusta po kayo? Kamusta po ang inyong kalusugan, Senator?
Well, second week ko na nga at medyo nakakabawi na ng konti ng pahinga, although hindi pa rin. Dahil nga sinabi mo na nga kanina na sunod-sunod ang aking mga engagements, lalo na yung mga media interviews. Pero kahit papaano, nakakatulog na rin po ako ng ilang oras, hindi katulad ng mga first few days na halos hindi po ako nakakatulog dahil naninibago po ako sa aking paligid. Talagang ang hirap po pala talaga dahil nga almost 7 years akong nakakulong at iba yung aking surroundings doon. So, pero ngayon medyo bumabawi na. Sabi ko nga, nakakatulog na rin po ako ng konti. Nagiging na rin ang aking isipan, yung pag-iisip ko, as medyo nagiging aliwalas na. Hindi katulad ng mga nakaraang araw, medyo naguguluhan pa ho ako. Ano to, bagong na naman ito, mga adjustments. So I'm gradually having my bearings back in life.
All right. Senator, we'd like to ask, what was life like inside Camp Crame? Would you share with us briefly how every day inside the cell was? What were your routines, Senator?
Napaka-stricto ng aking routine doon kasi ang naging attitude ko nga, hindi dapat ako magsayang ng oras dito. Hindi dapat ako nagkakaroon ng idle time na magpapadepress sa akin kasi yun ang talagang linalabanan ko. Ayaw na ayaw kong maging depressed. So nag-develop po ako sa umpisa pa lang ng aking daily routinary life. Na nagigising po ako ng maagang-maaga, 4:30, nagdadasal po ako paggising ko. Hindi muna po ako lumalabas sa selda ko kasi madilim pa ako sa labas. So nagdadasal muna, nagbabasa ng Bible, nagko-contemplative prayer, and then nagsisimula na po akong magsulat ng mga dapat kong isulat, katulad ng mga letters ko, either birthday greetings, mga thank you letters, o kaya letters of condolences dun sa mga namatayan, o mga letters of congratulations. And nung senador pa ako, sinisimulan ko na rin pong magsulat ng aking mga instructions sa aking mga staff. Dahil wala po akong cellphone noon. Habang nakakulong, never po akong nagkaroon ng cellphone, nagkaroon ng laptop. So lahat po ay handwritten lang. Pag maliwanag na po, ay lumalabas na po ako ng selda para naman ng konting exercise, walking. Tapos ay ginagawa ko na po yung mga ibang physical chores like sweeping the entire compound, and pinapakain ko po yung mga pusa, pinapakain ko po yung mga, meron din po mga manok doon, meron din po mga ibon na nagkukumpulan doon sa compound ko. Pag dumating na ho yung breakfast, magbe-breakfast po ako. I eat breakfast late, and after breakfast, I take a bath, and then pakaligo ko po, balik po ako sa mga written work ko, lalo na nung senador pa po ako. Nagre-review ko po yung mga draft resolutions, mga draft bills, at pinapabalik ko po sa Senado. Pagdating po sa tanghali, I actually take late lunch also. But before that, I do some readings, mga sari-saring mga libro. Kasi yung mga bisita ko po noon, either ang dala-dala nila ay either pagkain o libro. Kaya napakadami ko pong libro. Marami na po yung mga nabasa ko doon. Marami pa rin po yung mga dapat mabasa. So after lunch, ay nagkakaroon po ako ng short siesta or some shut eye, power nap, para pahingain ang aking utak, pahingain yung ang aking mata. At paggising ko, basa na naman. Pag bandang hapon, pakakainin ko uli yung aking mga alagang mga stray cats doon. Pagdating ng 6 o'clock, I pray the Angelus. And after that, I would again read the Bible and write down my reflections for the day in a journal. I write my reflections in a journal every day from day 1. So after that, mga bandang between 7 to 8, I'll take my breakfast. After breakfast, basa uli until antukin po ako. I actually sleep late between 10 to 11. Hintayin ko lang antukin ako at matutulog ako. Hindi po ako nagka-problema ng pagtulog. Very, very seldom po yung time na mahirapan akong matulog. And I feel happy about it na ganun nga ho, hindi ako nagkaroon ng problema sa pagtulog. And that's it. Kahit ho, inaamin ko po na paminsan-minsan, nalulungkot po ako. Meron din pong time na naiiyak ako o umiiyak po talaga ako kapag naaalala ko yung sitwasyon ko, naaalala ko yung pamilya ko. Pero never po akong na-depress dahil nga ay linalabanan ko po lagi yon.
All right. Ultimately, Senator, you can say that there was no VIP treatment dahil baka, iniisip ng mga iba nating kababayan, of course, she was former senator. Baka mamaya may VIP treatment sa loob ng detention quarters.
Wala po, dahil nga sabi ko nga, ay wala nga po akong cellphone, and I follow the regulations strictly. I complied with the regulation. Wala akong cellphone, wala akong laptop, wala rin po akong TV, wala po akong ref, wala po akong aircon, wala nga po akong shower, tabo lang. So kasi mga bawal po yon. Well, siguro naman dahil nga entitled ako sa mga libro, entitled ako sa newspapers every day. And then may naghahatid sa akin ng pagkain galing sa bahay kasi hindi ko po tinatanggap yung pagkain na supply ng custodial office kasi may nag-advise sa akin na wag daw kong tanggapin for security reasons. May konting sa certain privileges. Pero hindi yung special treatment na sinasabi. Kasi kung special treatment, dapat itong mga amenities na ito ay dapat nasa akin. Hindi po. Hindi po ganun yung naging buhay ko doon. My quarters was livable. And I think I can honestly say na more livable and more comfortable than the living conditions of the ordinary detainees in other ordinary detention facilities. Alam nyo naman yung mga condition ngayon, lalo na sa mga city jails, especially nga yung mga masikip na mga kulungan dyan. So I can say na mas livable yung condition ng aking selda. Pero far from the comfort of my own home. Pero I still think about, yung kino-compare ko lagi yun yung sitwasyon ko, tsaka yung sitwasyon ng mga ordinary detainees. Kaya much as I would want to ask for more, much as I would want to ask ng mga certain simple amenities, ay pinipigilan ko yung sarili ko. Kasi sasabihin ko na lang, mas maswerte naman ako compared sa kanila, so bakit hihingi pa ako ng mga kung ano-ano? So yun po ang iniisip ko lagi.
Alright. Every day indeed inside the jail was a very difficult time for you, Senator. But can you remember when was the most difficult time for you? When was the most difficult one for you? When you were at your lowest point, can you walk us through that time?
Hindi ako makaka-pinpoint ng a single most difficult time. Pero ang isa, right now, ang pwede kong sabihin is that kapag may nawawala na loved one, yung one who would leave this world, na yung mga kamag-anak, yung let's say my sister-in-law, my only sister-in-law passed away, na hindi man lang ako nakapunta sa wake niya, hindi ako pinayagan ng korte. And syempre yung mga kaibigan ko, mga allies ko, like si Pinoy, I really cried a lot nung namatay si Pinoy, former President Aquino, and then si Sec Dinky, nung namatay din siya, I really cried. So I felt so bad about it, na hindi man lang ako nakadalaw sa wake nila para to pay my last respects. And then nung nakapasa sa bar exam yung aking anak, yung my second son, si Vincent, na gusto ko sanang, nung nag-graduate siya from law school, gusto ko sanang mag-attend nung kanyang graduation. Hindi po ako pinayagan. Gusto ko sana mag-attend nung kanyang oath-taking. Hindi na lang ako nag-apply, hindi na lang ako nag-file ng motion kasi hindi naman ako napayagan doon nung nag-graduate siya. So those are milestones, personal milestones in my family life na nalungkot ako na hindi ako makakasama sa kanila. So I felt very sad about those.
All right. What was the most significant realization that you had when you were inside the detention quarter, Senator?
Ang realization ko is that, again, I can point out a few realizations. Isa doon is that alam kong I'm a strong woman. No, I'm a strong-willed person. Pero ano pala mas nagiging malakas pa rin meron pa rin pala akong ikakalakas sa sarili ko. Diba? I realized, I discovered within myself more resilience and strength dahil nga sa ordeal na yon. Mas lumakas pa ako because of that ordeal. Another realization is that you would know who your real friends are pag dumadaan ka sa ganyang pagsubok o dumadaan ka sa ganyang sitwasyon. Alam mo kung sino talaga yung mga tunay na kaibigan mo at alam mo kung sino yung mga tinatawag nating fair weather friends lang, na nandyan lang sila pag okay ka, pag nasa taas ka, pero pag nasa baba ka, wala na, niniho, wala na, hindi man lang magparamdam, wala na sila. Diba, isa yan sa mga realizations. Another is that small little things really matter. Yung mga mundane things in life, mga small blessings in life na hindi mo na-appreciate dati, na-appreciate ko na. Kasi yung mundo ko maliit lang. Yung confines ng aking detention facility, compound, na maliit lang yun. So lahat ng mga lahat ng mga bagay doon na-appreciate ko. Na hindi ko naman dati mga napapansin yon. Ngayon, pinapansin ko na, pinapangalagaan ko na. Dahil yun ang mundo ko. And then all other small blessings, I've learned to appreciate because that's all I have while I was there. So ganon, these are realizations which I actually cherish, na lawak din ng aking pananaw sa buhay.
Mhm. You mentioned earlier, Senator, na you fought depression, no? But was there ever a time that you did not want to continue fighting anymore? That you thought na maybe this is not working? Na maybe you thought there was no sense in fighting anymore. There was no sense in proving anymore that I was not guilty of any of these accusations.
Not at all. Precisely because I am innocent, precisely because the truth is on my side. Kaya never talagang sumagip sa utak ko na sumurrender. Never akong nag-isip na tama na, ayaw ko na. Hirap na ako. Na wala namang nangyayari pa. Ilang taon na ako dito. Nandito pa rin ako. Bakit hindi pa umuusad masyado yung mga kaso, although alam niyo naman ang mga naging developments na dismiss na yung isang kaso, na-acquit na ako. Itong pangatlo is that medyo tumatagal dahil nga may mga nag-inhibit na mga judges. Pero never ko talaga naisip na tama na, hayaan ko na lang to, bahala na kung kailan ito matapos, bahala na kung makakalaya pa ako o hindi. Although it's always, palaging yung prayer ko nga kay Lord, thy will be done. I know that I'm innocent. I always thought that the day will come that I will be released. The day will come that justice will be done in my case. It's just that we don't know the time. It's just that only the Almighty God would know when it is. Bahala na kayo, Lord. Kayo nakakalam. When is the perfect time for me to be vindicated? So, but never akong nag-surrender. Never kong naisip na mag-surrender.
So what kept you fighting, Senator? Where did you draw strength from? Dahil we could never imagine how hard the past 6 years were.
The faith in God. Mm-hmm. The faith that never faltered, never wavered, because of daily prayers, deep prayers. I had conversations, intimate sessions with God. Isang epekto talaga yan na dati hindi ko naman ginagawa yan na, heartfelt prayers in the confines of my detention walls, and the thought of my family that they're waiting, the hope that I have to cling to. Nandyan yan na and as I always say also, it's in my genes that I was brought up or reared as a strong person by my late father. Nandyan yan na hindi basta-basta sumusuko. If you fight for the right things, for what is right and just, no matter what the cost is, sige lang. So that explains it. And nagbunga yung ganong training sa akin ng aking daddy na kailangan magpakatatag ka lagi kasi anumang sitwasyon ay kailangan mag-survive ka. At ito na nga yun, parang may foresight yung aking ama na balang araw malalagay ako sa ganyang situation in life na naging ready ako dahil sa mga lessons na mga binibigay niya sa akin noon over meals. Pag kumakain kami noon, sari-saring mga lessons ang binibigay niya sa aming magkakapatid.
Mm-hmm. Senator, sa lahat po ng inyong naging danas, how do you now define the Philippine justice system? Dahil dalawang bagay po iyan, Senator. Yes, you attained the freedom that you longed for, but it took you nearly 7 years. Yes, you were freed, you attained freedom, justice was served to you, but it was after almost 7 years. What does this say to our justice system, Senator? Or if I may rephrase my question, what can you attest to our justice system?
Our justice system is imperfect. Our justice system is weak, but it's not hopeless. Our justice system can truly work if given the right environment, if given the right people to run it, if the right judges, the right justices are there to run the system, if the leaders in the executive department, especially the president, would respect its independence. Because the reason for its existence is its independence. You cannot expect the judiciary to fully, effectively, and efficiently function if its independence is not upheld by the other branches of government. Kaya kailangan talaga laging ginagalang ang independence ng judiciary. Nakikita natin yan sa ilan-ilang mga kaso, katulad nitong nangyayari sa kaso ko. This time around, ay nakikita ko, nafe-feel ko, na rinirespeto nila yung independence ng judiciary. Meron din sa mga ibang kaso, nangyayari yan. Kasi kung hayaan lang ang mga huwes na gampanan ang kanilang mandato na mag-deliver ng justice without fear or favor, makakaasa tayo, maaasahan natin ang ating mga hukom, ang ating hukuman na gawin ang kanilang trabaho. So it's imperfect. And I think lahat ng justice system sa buong mundo ay imperfect naman. But different levels ng effectiveness. Depende kasi may mga advanced countries with advanced justice systems. Meron namang medyo malayo pa. Tayo naman, meron mga magagandang mga initiatives, maraming mga programa ang Supreme Court para ma-address yung mga kakulangan sa ating justice system. Ang problema is tungkol din sa implementation. Just like any other good programs, ang nagiging problema ay sa implementation. Katulad itong the mandatory continuous trial. Hindi naman masyadong nasusunod yan in certain cases. Sa aking kaso, hindi yan nasusunod. Kasi kung nasunod yan, dapat doon pa, tapos na yung mga kaso ko. It's almost 7 years, hindi tapos. One of the reasons is because of yung mga nagiging mga inhibitions ng mga judges for certain reasons na umiiwas na rin sa kaso ko. So I have high hopes, and I have faith. I never lost faith, and I do not lose faith in our justice system, and that's why we continue to work within the justice system. Kahit tumagal, kahit nadi-disappoint ako, na-frustrate ako na tumagal, ay hindi ako nawalan ng pag-asa na sa mismong justice system, sa pamamagitan ng justice system, ako ay ma-vindicate. At nag-umpisa na nga na na-vindicate ako.
So you can say, Senator, that under the Marcos administration, our justice system is now working.
The wheels of justice have now started to work and to turn.
All right. Senator, did you see this coming? I mean, was there ever like a premonition that all of this was going to happen?
As I said, I never lost faith that this will come, that the truth will come out, that I will be vindicated. I was a victim of gross injustice, sabi nga ni former Senior Associate Justice Carpio. It was one of the grossest injustices ever perpetrated nung na-dismiss po yung petition namin noon sa Supreme Court na pinapanalify ko yung warrant of arrest. Pero yung majority kasi of the Supreme Court sabi kailangan ibalik sa korte, sa lower court at mag-proceed yung trial. Now, I am a victim of gross injustice. I am a victim of persecution, but I never lost faith in the justice system. And because of that, alam ko na in the end, the truth will prevail and justice will be done.
Those, the past 6 years, did you see those coming? Nung sinusubukan nyo pong alamin yung tungkol sa Davao Death Squad, everything about what the former President Duterte has done, nakita nyo na po ba itong mangyayari? Yung detention, everything that you've sacrificed, Senator?
Hindi ko to na-anticipate kasi ginagawa ko lang naman yung trabaho ko noon, yung mandato ko ng CHR chairperson ako, ng DOJ secretary ako, nung senador ako, nung chairperson ako ng Committee on Justice and Human Rights. I was just doing my job nung mga nag-imbestiga ako ng mga killings na yan. At malay ko ba na magiging Pangulo si Mr. Duterte? At malay ko ba na magiging senador ako? Wala naman sa plano ko yan, sa career path ko yan, na pumasok sa politics. So nagkasabay pa kami na siya, he ran for president, I ran for Senate, we both won, and then malay ko ba na yung gawain noon, nung mayor siya, ay ginawa na naman niya bilang presidente, na nandyan na naman yung mga EJKs na hallmarks nung sa Davao Death Squad killings noon. So napilitan ako ngayon na imbestigahan siya uli dun sa Committee on Justice and Human Rights. Now, alam nyo naman na talagang pinag-initan ako, siniraan ako ng husto, binastos ako ng katakot-takot, pero akala ko hanggang dun na lang. Not to the extent na kakasuhan ako. Napapaimbestiga ako, kakasuhan ako, at ikukulong. Hindi ko po ito na-anticipate. Kasi nga, wala naman akong kasalanan. Ginagawa ko lang yung trabaho ko. So, hindi ko po ito na-anticipate. Mabuti kung meron talaga akong ginawang kasalanan na krimen. Pero wala. Kaya nagulat din ako na ginawa niya ito na pinakulong ako.
All right. Senator, we're still awaiting the decision for your final drug case from the Muntinlupa Regional Trial Court. Right now, what updates do we have? What have been the developments? How long do you still have to wait before you hear the final decision of the court?
Okay. I just share with you the updates. Nothing more kasi nga, the subject is a rule. Kanina sa hearing, ay binigyan na kami ng 10 days to file our comments, objections to the formal offer of evidence by the prosecution. So tapos na nga yung bail at nag-grant na nga yung bail namin kasi nag-grant yung motion for reconsideration namin doon sa denial nung una, yung bail. Now ngayon, nag-rest na yung prosecution doon sa presentation nila ng evidence in chief. So nag-file na rin sila ng formal offer of evidence, although meron pa sila mga dinadagdag pa na mga exhibits. Pero ifa-file sila, nakailangan na rin namin na mag-file kami ng comments and objections to the formal offer of exhibits ng prosecution. The next step is for the court to rule or resolve the formal offer of exhibits. And then, normally, ina-accept lang naman yan yung mga exhibits na yan ng prosecution. And then ang plano po ng defense is to file demurrer to evidence with the motion for leave to file formal offer to file demurrer to evidence. Hindi kasi yan automatic na pwede kaming mag-file ng demurrer. Dapat meron munang permiso ang korte na makapag-file kami ng demurrer. So kung mag-grant yung leave mag-file kami ng demurrer, mag-file kami ng demurrer, and then kung mag-grant ang demurrer, ay tapos na po ang kaso. Tantamount po yan to acquittal. Kung denied po yung aming demurrer, wala kaming choice, kundi mag-submit na rin kami, mag-present na rin kami ng aming ebidensya. So that means medyo tatagal pa ng konti yung kaso kapag ma-deny yung demurrer at mag-present kami ng defense evidence.
All right. On the day you were granted bail, you told everyone that there was not anything yet. There was not any plan yet on seeking justice, on having people responsible for your detention pay for what they have done to you. But is your answer still the same now? Wala pa po ba tayong konkretong plano on specifically, as what you have said on your previous interviews, on suing former President Duterte? Meron na po ba tayong konkretong plano o may pinaghahandaan na po ba tayo?
Pinaghahandaan na po yan ng aking mga abogado. Ang natitira na lang na ano dyan, kailangang planuhin talaga is yung ano exactly yung mga ipa-file at kung kailan ipa-file. Pero siguro na subaybayan nyo naman o narinig nyo naman yung development na meron na kami dati kasing kaso na final against former Secretaries Aguirre and Guevara. Doon naman sa paggamit ay doon sa pagpasok, pag-admit nung mga inmate witnesses sa Witness Protection Program. Nag-dismiss kasi dati ng ombudsman yung complaint namin. So umakyat kami sa Court of Appeals. And yung Court of Appeals sabi, ombudsman, dapat imbestigahan nyo yan. Yung pagpasok, pag-admit nung mga PDL witnesses na yan sa Witness Protection Program, kahit disqualified sila under the law. Kasi dapat hindi sila inadmit at hindi sila ginamit as state witnesses. So nauna na yung kaso na yan, yung complaint na yan against former Justice Secretaries Aguirre and Guevara. At pinag-aaralan na rin ng legal team ko kung ano pang ibang mga kaso ang pwedeng i-file dun sa mga former Justice Secretaries na yan. And of course, against former President Duterte being the chief instigator, the chief oppressor. My chief oppressor, na siya talaga ang behind. Walang duda po sa akin yan na siya ang may pakana nito. All you have to do is pakinggan nyo lang po yung mga naging statement niya noon. Ang dami niyang mga recorded statement niya noon na bumabanta na ako ay kasuhan, na ako daw ay mabubulok sa kulungan and similar statements.
Mm-hmm. All right. Senator Duterte has called you before names, no? He's called you immoral, he's called you a robber,
Exactly.
even a word I cannot say here on air. But for you,
That's
what?
unprintable.
Yes. But for you, what or who really is Duterte?
Pardon?
For you, Senator.
He's an oppressor. He's my chief oppressor. He's my chief persecutor. He's my nemesis. Siya talaga may pakana nito. So no doubt about it.
All right.
So he has destroyed my dignity through his misogynistic attacks. Kaya nga kailangan lang niyang managot. At yun nga po ang pinag-aaralan ng aking legal team.
All right. Let's go back to the state witnesses, Senator. What did you think of the witnesses who eventually said that they wanted to retract their statements? What went through your mind when they were testifying against you?
Yung mga points na yan, I'm not very sure if it's prudent to be discussing those because it might be within the ambit of the sub judice rule. But of course, masakit para sa akin na nakikinig ka. Masakit at nakakagalit kung nakikinig ka sa mga kasinungalingan. I had to prepare myself psychologically every time I attend court hearings. May mga na makikinig ako sa mga kasinungalingan. I always have to control myself whenever somebody in the witness stand would be blurting out lies about my alleged drug links. But that's all I can say now because again, it might fall within the sub judice rule.
Yes. If we may ask,
Yes.
Senator, what went on in your mind naman when they said na they wanted to recant their statements dahil we have to to our viewers, Senator, no, according to Attorney Bonita Cardon, wala naman po talagang nagganap na recantation because they haven't really explained yet what happened during what they say were coercion or intimidation or pressure, no?
Wala pa. Wala pa. Technically, wala pang recantation. Ang mga meron ngayon are the intentions to recant. They signified their intention to recant. That is why kailangan i-affirm nila under oath before the court yung kanilang intention to recant, and kailangan mag-submit sila ng formal recantation through affidavits and be subjected to the scrutiny by the court, yung kanilang recantation. Tama yun na technically, officially, formally, hindi pa yun recantation. Parang intention pa lang to recant. Pero that is something already. Malaking bagay yun na the fact that they are signifying their intention to recant. At hindi na kami nagugulat dyan.
Alright.
Na merong mga magre-recant.
So, muli nyo po
Yes.
silang ihaharap sa korte, Senator, for them to be able to actually tell everyone kung ano ba talagang nangyari, no?
Sila ang maharap. Sila ang harap.
sila
Kasi
po ang
hindi kami
haharap.
pwedeng, hindi kami pwedeng, kami talaga ang magpipresenta sa kanila. And that's why they're also asking for independent counsels to assist them in the recantation. My lawyers cannot assist them kasi prosecution witnesses sila. And then the prosecution, I think, is also not interested, of course, anymore sa kanila. Dahil nga hostile na sila, so to speak, dun sa interest ng prosecution. So kailangan nila ng independent counsels to assist them in their recantation. Kaya humihingi rin sila ng mga abogado para tulungan sila sa formal recantation nila. We cannot see them, we cannot talk to them. That would be improper. That would be unethical on our part. Sila na yon, initiative nila yon eh. Hindi naman namin sila kinausap. Kusa nila yan. Na kusa silang sumulat. Yung dalawa, yung sumulat sila sa akin, which I submitted to the court. And then ito namang latest na 7, sumulat sila sa korte. So, initiative nila yon. So sila dapat ang mag-explain sa court bakit nila ginagawa yan. They have first to explain na authentic o legitimate yung sulat nila. They have also to explain to the court na talagang magre-recant sila, gusto nila mag-recant at bakit sila magre-recant. Pero hindi kami dapat ang magpresenta sa kanila.
Alright. Balikan po natin no, yung reklamo na muli yung sinampa sa Ombudsman para kina former Justice Secretaries Vitaliano Aguirre II and Menardo Guevara. Because, you know, as what you've said, they allowed convicted criminals to be state witnesses on your case, despite of its, you know, outright violation on the against the witness protection law. So, what updates do we have right now of this, Senator?
Well, kalalabas lang ng Court of Appeals decision.
Yes.
Na greenhand yung aming petition and ordering the ombudsman to take further proceedings. Ibig sabihin, dapat yung ombudsman ay imbestigahan na o initiate ng proper proceedings against them. Kasi noon, dinismiss nila outright yung aming petition without even requiring the 2 respondents to file their counter affidavit or to respond to our petition. And according to the Court of Appeals, that is improper. That is violation of due process. Lalo nang dininay kasi dati yung request namin, dininay ni former Justice Secretary and now Solicitor General Guevara, yung aming request for information or certification that indeed these inmate witnesses were covered by the Witness Protection Program. So they did not want to disclose that. And to us, that's in bad faith. So kaya kami nag-file ng complaint. So hindi man lang pinasagot ng ombudsman yung punto na yan sa respondent. So sabi ng Court of Appeals, kailangan tingnan ng husto yung aming complaint, kailangan pasagutin yung dalawang former Justice Secretaries at magkaroon ng tamang proceedings against them.
All right.
So we will just wait. We will
mhm.
just wait for the proper notice from the Office of the Ombudsman.
All right. The witnesses said that they were coerced, they were pressured, but Senator, do we have already names of the persons who actually pressured them? May plano po ba tayong sampahan sila ng kaso, Senator?
I don't think it's proper also for us to disclose now.
Mhm.
Meron kaming mga alam na mga pangalan, but hindi namin alam kung yung mga witnesses lang kasi sila ang nakakaalam. Sila dapat ang magsabi sa atin kung mga sino yon. Kami naman we have an idea kung mga sino yon, yung mga information namin noon na mga nakukuha namin from various sources, kung sino yung mga trumabaho sa kanila, sa utos nung pinaka nasa taas. Pero as I said, ang dapat magsabi niyan ay itong mga inmate witnesses nito sa formal recantation nila kung maaari.
Mhm. Once we hear the names from the witnesses, ma'am, magsasampa po ba tayo ng kaso laban sa mga taong ito?
Oh yes, yes. Because that would be subornation of perjury. Inducing them to falsely testify. The use of false testimony.
All right. Attorney, let's talk about one of the most recent statements of President Marcos regarding the possible return of the country to the ICC or to the International Criminal Court. Marcos said that it has been under study. So it looks like the president might probably be considering it. Your thoughts on this, Senator?
It's always been my position na dapat talaga we should rejoin ICC. Hindi ko maisip na bakit magiging mahirap para sa Pilipinas na hindi i-consider yung bagay na yan, na kailangan natin na mag-rejoin ng ICC. Kasi unang-una, yung pag-withdraw pa lang natin, questionable na eh. Yung unilateral withdrawal, questionable yon. Tapos, yung dahilan ng pag-withdraw, alam naman natin yon. Kaya nag-withdraw yung dating Pangulo, winithdraw niya yung Pilipinas from the ICC dahil matatamaan siya. In other words, it was a self-serving executive action. So, questionable. Noon nung nag-accede tayo sa Rome Statute, kaya tayo nag-accede because we recognize the wisdom, the desirability of joining the Rome Statute. Kaya nga nung re-notify o nag-concur yung Senate dun sa Rome Statute, isa lang yung nag-dissent noon. O all the rest really said yes, voted yes to the ratification. Ngayon, withdraw ng isang tao, ng isang Pangulo dahil matatamaan siya, dahil iimbestigahan na siya. Nag-ano na ng preliminary examination yung dating ICC Special Prosecutor. So self-serving yung action na yan. Hindi naman yon para sa interest ng bayan. Kasi yung interest, yung national interest natin is towards helping out in terms of giving justice to the victims of the drug war killings. So, bakit ngayon magiging mahirap para sa ating gobyerno ngayon ang pag-rejoin ng ICC? So, tama lang yan na pinag-iisipan nila muli, tama lang yan na pinag-aaralan nila muli yung pag-rejoin at lalo na yung pag-cooperate dyan sa ICC probe. And even if in fact, yung duty to cooperate, nandyan yan eh. Nandyan yan sa Rome Statute. Na kahit nag-withdraw na tayo, it's still the duty of the Philippines to give cooperation, to extend cooperation to the ICC probers for the crimes cognizable by the ICC before the effectivity of the withdrawal. It remains to be our duty. So hindi dapat issue yan, yung pagko-cooperate. Ang issue lang natin ngayon, magre-rejoin ba tayo o hindi sa ICC. But as to the duty to cooperate, it's there. It's still part of our treaty obligations prior to the effectivity of the withdrawal.
Mhm. So,
So tama lang yan, sinusuportahan ko po yan, yung naging hakbang na yan ng Pangulo.
all right. So right now, it remains a possibility, Senator. But what if in the end, President Marcos decides on, not rejoining the ICC? What if Marcos does not ratify the agreement? How do you plan on taking the next steps, Senator? How will the probe on Duterte's war on drugs continue?
The probe will continue, whether or not we rejoin the Rome Statute or the ICC. Because as I said earlier, the duty to cooperate remains because it's in the treaty. It's part of our duty. We are obliged to cooperate whether or not we rejoin ICC. Kasi yung time frame nga, nandiyan yan. There is an express provision in the Rome Statute that it does not relieve us from our treaty obligations prior to the withdrawal from the ICC. And it does not relieve the liability, those involved from their liabilities of those crimes cognizable under the Rome Statute. So tuloy-tuloy pa din yan. Pero mas maganda ho sana kung balik tayo uli sa Rome Statute para sa mga future cases pa rin. Malay nyo, magkaroon uli tayo ng another tyrant na maging presidente natin. Kaya nga nandyan, yung Rome Statute, nandyan ng ICC para, this is a weapon against tyrants to end to try to end impunity. Kasi kung nagiging leader ang isang ganyan na mga nagko-commit na mga grave crimes like crimes against humanity na hindi masyadong nagwo-work yung domestic system of accountability dahil nga masyadong powerful yung sangkot na Pangulo, nandyan ang ICC to fill in the gaps of the domestic system of accountability. Kaya sana maisip yan. Sana yung maging result ng study ngayon ng Pangulo would be positive in the sense that balik tayo uli sa Rome Statute and ICC.
All right. Senator, how assured are you that tables will turn eventually na mararanasan po ni dating Pangulong Duterte ang pagbayaran lahat ng mga nagawa niya in the past?
I cannot give that assurance. I really do not know. It depends on the circumstances and the political situation, the developments in the political environment, and it's a test for our justice system. It's a huge test for our justice system. It's a huge test of the political will also of those in power na hayaan nila na gumulong ang wills of justice sa mga kaso na maisasampa against President Duterte insofar as my cases are concerned sa mga pinaplano namin na mga kaso. But of course, I cannot assure that. That's not for me to make that assurance.
All right. During your time as a senator, Attorney LEILA, meron po kayong mga kasamahan sa Senado na talagang, sinubukan kayong idiin, kumampi sa kabilang side. How do you feel now how do you feel about them? Do you hold any grudge against them?
Masama ang loob ko noon, no? Pero ngayon, I think I understand them. They have their own reasons. And alam ko naman na yung iba, I think they were sympathetic. I could feel that they were sympathetic, but they could not just be open about it for their own reasons. Maybe the circumstances then were such that it would be difficult for them to come to my defense openly and publicly. So naiintindihan ko naman po sila.
All right. Senator, I'm not very much sure if this is a question that's too early to be asked, but you were only able to serve a year of your term as a senator kasi the rest,
8 months.
yes,
Well,
8 months.
let me just clarify that, no? Yeah, I was able to serve my term fully, but I was not able to effectively and fully discharge my task. Kasi 8 months pa lang, pinakulong na ako. So limited yung aking naging pagganap ng aking mandato dahil hindi nga ako nakakaboto, hindi ako nakakapag-participate sa mga deliberation, sa mga debate. So napaka-limitado yung mga pwede kong gawin. So what was your question? What was your question?
All right. Dahil yung 5 years nga po, katulad ng nabanggit nyo, ay nasa detention facility na po kayo. And last 2021, you sought a term at the Senate when you filed a certificate for candidacy.
For the 2022 elections,
yes,
that I lost.
All right. The 2025 midterm elections is 2 years from now, Senator. Do you plan?
Too early.
Do you plan on running for a senatorial post?
Too early for me to think about that because mas marami pa po akong priorities. I'm fixing my life. You know, I'm rebuilding it. Tumatayo pa po ako sa mga marami pa po akong mga dapat talaga asikasuhin. I have to earn a living. I have to attend to my family. I have to attend to my finances. And then ito nga, marami ako mga engagements rin. And then the advocacies, kasi kahit nga ako nakakulong, ay hindi ko nakakalimutan in whatever way I can is I continue to pursue my advocacies. Kasi sa tingin ko naman, kahit wala naman ako sa politics, pwede pa naman ako na makatulong sa mga advocacy ko in terms of helping out those that are abused, those that are oppressed, the voiceless, the powerless, the marginalized, and the vulnerable sectors of society. Ang daming nagtatanong tungkol dyan, babalik ba ako sa politika, kakandidato ba ako sa 2025? I need time and serious thought, serious thinking before I can decide on that. Mahirap kasi, lalo na kung wala kang resources, kulang ang resources mo, mahirap. And then masikip ata na naman ang 2025. Marami mga re-electionists, marami rin yung mga magka-comeback, ang mga dati, na babalik sa Senado. So napakasikip. So I don't know. I have to consult also my friends, my family. So a lot of things to consider before I make a decision. And thank you for asking that.
All right. On that note, Senator LEILA De Lima, maraming salamat po for giving us your time for this interview.
Thank you. My honor and pleasure. Godspeed.
Mga kababayan, atin pong nakasama sa ating programa, dating Senador, Attorney LEILA De Lima. Magbabalik po ang ating programa.